following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
You basically come across more terminals with information on them related to, looks like, bacterian DNA and plants. There's like a kitchen area you come across, and then like a small area to like sleep and relax in, and that's pretty much it. And there's a bathroom.
Okay. And that's the main building, pretty much, sweet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's here, so I don't think they've left anyone behind to guard. No signs of recent activity beyond what could possibly have been the researchers just doing their jobs.
Alright, I'm continuing.
Oh, you will come across a modified generator as well.
Modified hangout.
So it looks like it's been adjusted so that it's no longer using a standard liquid fuel source, and then there's a big plug going up into the wall, the outer wall.
Would this spot on the outer wall go out to that giant mushroom we saw they had wired up? I think they're using the mushrooms for power. They've rigged this generator up to that mushroom outside, as far as I can tell.
Scan it.
Do a system scan on the generator.
On the generator is drawing power.
Oh, it's definitely drawing power. Is it
The mushroom.
just out of interest? Is it drawing the same amount of power a liquid fuel cell would have, or is it like less, or is it more?
Less, but not by a lot.
Okay. And I'll make my way outside to the mushroom.
Yeah. Darlow comes outside. You're not that far away from where he'd come out.
Okay.
This is a scientific disgrace, Zalo. They're not electrocuting their subjects, they're drawing power from it.
They're letting it electrocute them.
So you scan the... what are you scanning it with?
I'll have a med scanner that might give me some biological information on it, and a system scanner on what they've plugged into it. And I might be able to collate some information off of the two of those scans.
Run the med scanner, I guess? That's what's the closest thing you have for scanning?
I don't think I roll it, but I guess to interpret the knowledge, right? 23.
Yeah, you do determine that there is a natural power coming through these things. They seem to be drawing power from somewhere, and then they are, I mean, you can kind of tell by looking at how they've hooked it up that they do seem to be using them as a
generator. I'll send that information through. Seems to be reasonably efficient. Only slightly worse than a regular fuel cell, and if it's got any kind of longevity, it'd be useful.
Trish, where else do these mushrooms grow? They might have hidden nearby some natural power source thing.
To utilize for some purpose.
I don't fucking know.
The mushrooms are prevalent across approximately 1/3 of the planet.
Cool, thank you. Apparently those mushrooms are 33.33% likely. So that's everywhere. Very much.
Not sure if your average pirate would have the capability of doing anything with this kind of technology, at least without, I guess, co-opting the researchers.
I was afraid if we could take a whole bunch of it.
Well, I didn't check any of the terminals on the inside until the sweep was complete, so we might get something from there.
Then we need to check them. So I was continuing. I continued around, but I hadn't stopped moving, so I don't know how far I've got. And we told.
I mean, you would have gone basically round full circle to where Zalo would have entered, and you wouldn't have really seen anything noteworthy.
So nothing in the round building. I couldn't. Other entrances into the round building.
Oh, the round building?
Oh.
There's one entrance into the circular
Fits.
one. Yeah, there's a little stairs up, and then there's like a little door to go inside.
Yep. So I'll check that building because he was checking the other building.
Okay, yeah. There is like an airlock. It's not locked, but it's just
I'll find that through. Airlock. Entering circular building.
Be careful.
What's that?
it goes through like a little 5-second cycle and then opens up.
Yeah. So I'm counterfix ready. Going in.
Sweet. You step in. It closes behind you.
Yep. There's a lock.
It doesn't lock. It seals, but it
Yeah.
doesn't lock. You can easily just press it again if you want to get back out.
Make sure.
If you want to test it, it'll just
Okay.
without doing the cycle again, just
If it's got
open
the
up. because
it's got a symbol on it, it's fine. Sweet building.
You go in, so you enter the next section on the central. You immediately notice going inside that it is very warm and dry compared to the outside.
I'll throw
So
that
it's
back
about
in.
10 degrees warmer, you'd probably guess, and there's like zero humidity. It is very dry.
Throw that back up.
I wonder why that is. Is there any plants? Is it a hothouse of some kind?
There's a couple of liquid tanks in there, and then some other smaller sealed tanks. Some of them have plants in them, and then there's a planter box with some plants that are just
Send
in the open air in there.
send photos.
Those ones tend to be very dried out, though. You would notice the ones that are just in the open.
Replicating our environment.
Kaja is an extremely wet world.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Wait, what was the Drell's original homeworld called?
It's not Dakana, that's the
no.
local one.
Because it had a massive disaster,
Yeah.
and they had to move off of it. Oh god.
I'm trying to remember what the original homeworld was. It's
Drelladon.
Drilltopia.
Drilltopia.
Okay. Trish, what were the environmental conditions on the Drell's native planet like? Do they match that room at all?
I would need internal readings from inside the room, so I guess you'd need to be able to send those up somehow. So you'd have to take some scans.
Scan.
Rakana.
That's the one. Yeah. And then Trish will scan the natural 20 Trish. This represents the former Drell homeworld within 0.5% margin of error.
Hey, Tiala, Trish is telling me that the environmental conditions inside the dome facility you're in basically match Rakana's environmental conditions.
Which makes sense. They're trying to find
Exactly.
cure.
It also might be like a place he needs to hang out away from all of this lush dampness.
See if how big it.
I mean, you would notice that after Logan says that, you're like, hey, wait a minute, this is kind of like clear, like it's transparent
Yeah.
all the way around pretty much. So you can look out upon the area without... Yeah.
So searching the whole building for something. Signs of life, disturbances. I mean, if they're kidnapped, there'd be mess or something possibly.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't... find anything like that in here. It's not a lot. Doesn't take long for you to search because it's not as big as the other one, and everything is open and
Yep.
clear.
Right,
So-
if there's nothing for me to find in here, then I'll phone that back in and leave.
You know what I'm not hearing from you guys? Signs of a struggle,
Yes.
weapons fire evidence.
Correct.
None of that.
No markings of vehicles, no markings
Hey,
of
both
ships.
of you should look around for anything that might be there that shouldn't be. Did they take gear, food, packs, clothing, long-distance research gear, anything like that? Did they take stuff?
It's hard. In this room, there's not much. So,
Tiala, I'll switch over to a private channel just with her. Old man. Your Asari mind-based powers. Can you detect minds with it like a radar? I'm not hearing you staring at no one.
yes.
Have you considered doing that?
I want to look first before extracting.
Well, yes, of course.
Also,
I yield to your
limited range.
I yield to your superior knowledge.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
I'll try that in this room now.
Could be something hidden.
I mean, if somebody was under the floor, for example, but beyond that, she wouldn't be able to reach much beyond this area. But
Also, you know, if it's a gift,
well, yeah, if it was a synthetic of any kind.
So this is what you want biotics first, or this truth sense?
It'd be neither, because you're just using your innate Asari ability, so I think it just goes off charisma to just reach out. I believe it's either charisma or wisdom. I think it's charisma.
Yep, charisma's good. Just the modifier.
The roll modifier.
Yeah, it's just 12. No, sorry. 15.
You do not detect any other life in this. Well,
Right, then I'll
plant life, but you're not going to pick up on that. There's no. Yeah.
I'll go into
what if it's a Thorian?
I'll go into this building. So
Yeah.
I'll wait.
So do you for some suggestions? So
Yeah, I'm gonna do now that at least I think there's no hostile in the building. I'll make an investigate check to look for like the equipment that should be missing. That could be like if they went out somewhere. Also, now specifically look for weapons discharge or things like that. Small ionizing radiation, or micro holes in something. So 32.
Okay. You do notice that there is a lack of. What's this word? Lack of like tools. Basic tools that you would think that somebody who was collecting samples would have.
And would likely have a spare stockpile on hand.
What else were you checking?
Well, let's get any signs of arms discharge or anything like that.
Without you even having to roll, this place looks almost like I was going to say immaculate, but it's like, yeah, it looks like there's no signs of a struggle. There's no scorch marks, no burning.
This planet is so wet and grassy and stuff like that, they didn't see other boot prints.
I mean, I looked for that twice and I was told there's nothing.
There's stuff too, and we got nothing.
Tiala just did like a circuit and didn't see anything, even though she was looking for them. So yeah, no, nothing. That there should be strange.
It is. That's why I need to go into this other building and check again. His building
I want to check for
and get all the certain stuff.
they might have had a like a spacesuit for a drow, like if he had to go
Oh yeah.
outside of this building or the other building. I want to check if there is such a thing for that. and If it's present.
Because I'll worry before I
Make
go
a roll.
away. If I want to roll survival, see where I might go.
Okay.
It has come to that at the end of all contingencies.
Yes. Or so that will be 28.
You notice a locker that when you it's unlocked. When you open it up, there is a a recess for a suit that is not there. And like little hooks at the back. And a
And
space for a helmet that would normally go above it. Because you've seen this type of locker before, like it's usually used for those type of
and double
environmental suits.
checking any other lockers. Is that the only environmental
There's only
suit?
two, and they both have
Both gone.
they're both gone.
Okay, I'll send that through. I found a spot for 2 environmental suits. They're both empty, and it also seems like there's a distinct lack of any tools for collection of samples or study or even maintenance. How are they doing on food stockpile?
No. Yeah, actually, you don't even need to roll for that. If you look in the cupboards, you will notice like there's low supplies. And in the refrigerator, there's actually, it looks like, this is probably the first signs of something that you kind of get the sense that somebody, based on, there's a couple of things that are like knocked down on the fridge that are still in there. And it gives you that impression that like somebody just grabbed a bunch of stuff and maybe out of there in a hurry. Because there's still stuff there and it's been like, it's knocked down and messy in the fridge. Everywhere else is kind of neat.
Kind of clean. You'd think their fridge would be like that too. Looks like someone's taken all the food supply they had as well in a hurry. Could have been pirates, or it could have been the researchers fleeing.
We'll bring the Sentinel down to hover over the facility. Put an outdoor disk on their communications machine
Will do.
and their network hub. Fiala, how are you doing?
I'm watching the building.
Man, that must be a long-ass walk.
Airlocks.
Ugh.
Yeah, you probably have arrived. And,
Right. I'll do the same check inside this building.
this is inside the,
The main complex.
yeah, I was going to say the same one you've been checking.
21.
If you enter the main entrance, you'll find the same things that I found, the missing environment.
Oh, the
Mind
mind
scan.
thing. Mind scan.
Oh, the mind scan thing, sorry. You detect, actually in there, you'd probably be a bit too far away to even be close to Zalo, so you don't detect anything.
Alright. Still not checking anything.
Not even Zardoz?
No.
He'd be too far away. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
but
she'd have to
I
be the
don't
same-
know that.
Oh,
So now I'm going to say, Zardoz, are you there?
Yeah, copy.
Did you leave the building?
Would I have to leave to get a disc on the comms array? Like for the outside would be a better spot? Or?
you could. No, it'd be actually easier for you to. You could go to the roof, but it's easier for you to go to where the actual internal comms system is. Which you
Especially
can see.
since that's what I told you to do.
Yeah, and it's inside the building where you are.
No, I'll just make my way to the comm station.
Then I've got bad news for you.
Hmm?
It seems you're brain dead.
Oh, that would explain something.
Yeah. No, Zardoz is still inside Tiala.
He may be too far from me. I'll sweep the building like this.
Okay.
check. Zala.
Solo spotting. Solo getting 15.
On a desk beside the communications thing there's a terminal, and you can see a data pad on there.
What's on the pad? Uh-oh.
Hey!
Wait, that looks
Writing.
like science.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no!
We have personal logs. That's one.
Oh dear, that was a lot of text.
Going back about a month.
North Carolina! Brandon!
Personal log. 14th of the 7th, 2163. We finally arrived on Cantea. It really does seem to be the botanical marvel that was described as in Dr. Emphire's journal. Initially, it doesn't come across as particularly lush, but there's an amazing level of varied flora on the smaller varieties concentrated in fairly localized regions. After testing only 16 plants, the percentage of autophytic plants is remarkable, and there's even a decent amount of epiphytic examples too. I feel that somewhere amongst the possibly thousands of these plans is the answer to Glen's condition. Unfortunately, we have to remain on the ship. We'll be suited up for the most part. The air is breathable for me, and temperature's mild, but humidity and moisture levels are high based on initial scans. And the first 2 sites we visited, I'm getting the feeling that the aquatic base samples are going to not only be prevalent, but potentially yield the best chance. I want to find the optimal site before we make camp, so we could be searching for up to a week to do so, ideally longer if the fuel consumption didn't hit us so much. Kantea is a big place, even if only 40% of the surface of the world is even potentially viable. That's roughly 200 million square kilometres to cover. Even ignoring the fuel, we're on borrowed time. Glenn is going to be lucky to live another 500 days, let alone another 500 years like myself.
Good sight.
21st to the 7th, so a week later. Another day of work and we should have finished setting up camp. Glenn is not particularly pleased with the location, stating that it has too much water, but I'm giving it a 7.8 out of 10. I guess he at least liked the view because it doesn't seem like a bad score, although he never explains his system, as he calls it. He did admit to liking the giant blue fungi in the area too. Which reminds me, Glenn wants to do some tests on them, especially the largest one, as initial scans indicate it seems to convert light into electricity quite effectively, to the point where it could be a potential power source that wouldn't force us to rely on generators or delicate solar collectors. He'll be happy once his dehumidifier is installed, and he can actually wander around without being confined to a fully sealed suit. The pond here is actually very clean, and with no avian life or large mammals in this region, it's hardly surprising. Initial tests indicate we could likely drink it fresh with no filtration. The plant life here really does seem to keep things in balance. It's remarkable that it's remained so untainted given its location. But perhaps it's not known about. Dr. Amphira's journal didn't have a huge circulation, hence why it took quite some digging to find it all. The crew that helped us have been very understanding and patient, so we'll send them on their way as soon as we're ready and we've established that communications are working properly and transmitting to the Amenhotep relay. I'd like to give them a bonus for their hard work, but we spent almost all my inheritance on this endeavour, and we'll need what we've got left for them to pick us up again when we're finished here. Fortunately, it seems we'll be able to sustain ourselves on local fruits, legumes and vegetables to make our other food supplies last.
So just to confirm what you said, they do not have their own ship. They got dropped off and are expecting to pick up.
Expecting a pickup when their research is concluded or after the drill docks. Progress has been good. Glenn has succeeded in converting the largest of the Dirantinapelchiacreus manaphyoxy into a working power source, as we suspected.
This was absolutely the right choice.
Though our initial scans weren't entirely accurate, as we initially suspected the individual mushroom was a remarkably strong light-to-energy converter in and of itself, but have since learned that tendrils beneath the surface connected to others, and it is in fact the combined energy harvested across the cluster that gives the illusion of individual power. Looks like one dominant cat will become the main one and grow larger than the others as they feed it. But it doesn't seem to seriously hinder or harm the smaller ones in any way beyond this.
This is an episode of Stargate.
Further study is
water,
needed, of course. Glenn wants me to be careful though, because he suspects that at some point they're going to spore, and we have no idea what will happen then. Perhaps us drawing power from this cluster will delay such occurrences though. His dehumidifier is working fine, though he says he still feels trapped looking out and wishes he could just step outside. I'll have to keep an eye on him. His stubbornness could lead to him deciding to take an unauthorized walk outside when my back is turned. I can understand why, though. There's a quiet beauty to this place. As soon as the Apella left with their crew, named the ship, it felt so empty here, so isolated. The planet has only subtle sounds of wind and strange, distant, echoing sounds that must come from several kilometers away. I've set up some environmental domes in case we come across other species that need specific conditions. And we're already keeping some of the closer flora under observation. Tomorrow we can start venturing out and gathering samples from a bit further afield. That was the 24th, so a couple of days after the last one. Now we skip to the 3rd of the next month. We've made amazing progress over the past few days. 126 different samples, many of which have unfortunately been discounted as options. But the sheer progression we've made in such a short time is invigorating. It's times like this I thank Mother for being able to afford such good gear that allows us to analyse this so quickly. And it's a shame that her death was the catalyst that pushed this forward, but if we succeed I'll be able to use her credits for something worthwhile. Glenn is still bitter that the Illuminated Primacy turned down prior efforts to fund this. Even though we're here now despite them, he told me he wants to see my name among the medical elite. Written to the history books for all time. I have no interest in that, though. He is right. With fame comes prestige, and with that comes opportunities. But opportunities for what? My whole focus has been to cure him and others suffering from his ailment. I suppose there are other conditions that have baffled scientists for a while I could look into. The genophage, perhaps. But despite my intentions...
It's on purpose. You're not supposed to cure it.
Despite my intentions, would a sudden abundance of Krogan be a good thing? As horrific as the original act was, it was done for the sake of galactic safety. I also have to admit to a certain degree of selfishness here. I'm determined to cure Ketrel's syndrome, not just because of Glenn, but because it's become a puzzle to solve with a personal motivation. With no personal stakes, I'm not sure I would care. Does it make me inconsiderate and cold? A side effect of having a Solarian father, perhaps? Work has been such a focus for both of us. Maybe tonight I should open one of those crates and fish out a bottle of Lyriers, and we could have a romantic evening, just the two of us. There's nothing here to interrupt us except us. Almost 2 weeks later, on the 14th, we've returned home with quite the bounty, with hopes of retrieving more tomorrow, although not without Glenn worrying me sick. We split up to make gathering more efficient in Site 3G, and Glenn found a rather expansive cave network. The procedure was to check in with each other every Citadel standard out. But I became concerned when he failed to report back for his second check-in. After almost another hour of being concerned, he'd hurt himself, or his condition had got the better of him. It turned out he had been inside this cave, and the minerals in the surrounding rocks blocked communications. He discovered a lot of unique lichens, mosses, and fungi within, too much for us both to take back in one trip. We've now agreed to not enter any caverns or crevices alone, and only explorers appear now. In fact, the amount of samples we have now is beginning to become almost more than we could deal with. I discussed it with Glenn, and he agrees we should probably see if we can order more environmental domes and control pods to increase our analysis rate. I'll send a transmission with some supply requests after dinner this evening. And then the final one on the 22nd, so a couple weeks away again. It's official. We've now had to stop taking any more samples until the supplies arrive. No word back from them as to an ETA, but the order has been put through. Actually, even if they don't arrive for another few days, some machines, domes, and control pods will become vacant soon if the results are consistent with prior ones. Glenn wonders why we don't analyse some of the plants longer, but I have an eye for botanical science, biology, and can very quickly tell if a given plant isn't going to yield any results without having to run it through every test, or even finish certain analyses. Glenn thinks I'm impatient and tells me I have all the time in the world. I do technically, but the issue is that he doesn't. He's already made it clear that he'll consider it a victory if it takes me beyond his lifetime to find a cure. I won't, but it won't stop me. I'll keep doing it for him if it comes to that. I was about to write that we're just sitting here waiting for several experiments to complete before we can make any further progress, but I think I hear a ship engine coming towards us from the southeast. And as I type this, Glenn confirms it looks like a Turian vessel is approaching. Hopefully our supplies are here, so I'll leave this log and update in the next one.
Southeast, caverns in G3.
We've got two places to look.
Zardos, you just went quiet there. What's going on?
Oh, I found a series of personal logs. Quite wordy ones. I'll send them through.
That's nice. Put the disc on the thing. Boop. I want to look into the terminal because it will obviously have a log of things that it sent.
Mm-hmm.
Did it send the hostage terrorism thing?
No.
They might have used this ship.
Okay, it wasn't sent from the terminals. Were there any communications in from ship?
There wasn't. The last communication was one going out requesting supplies to be sent. And then I suppose there was a response that it was just like, yes, we'll get onto that. But that was the last transmission.
Okay.
Oh, actually, one thing you could do is make a roll. I don't know what the roll would be. What'd you get? 2.
Because of fucking course I did.
I suppose it would be electronics or...
It'd still be 27. 22?
Okay, that's still...
How could I possibly have 20?
You would notice at least there was a pattern going prior when they requested supplies that that was like they'd asked for requests for supplies, and then they get the response back that's like, yes, we'll send that. And there was at least a communique before the ship landed, whereas there isn't in this
Okay.
latest case.
Okay, so ship coming from southeast,
Yes.
likely not their supply drop. Okay, could you head out to where the ship landed and have a look for any prints that we may have overlooked in these several attempts to see if anyone's been walking around there? There's got to be something. You can't just float around. Most people can't just float around.
I'll finish off the sweep of the building and then I'll get out.
Yeah, thanks. That's me. I'm done now. That's
Okay.
back to the people actually doing things, not you.
Spot check or do you have tracking? I don't even
No,
think that's a
I
thing
haven't
in
finished
this.
the sweep of the building yet.
No.
Since I couldn't do a big area, I've got to do the whole building.
Yeah, make your building.
Man, there is not tracking.
I'm not surprised. It's not a lot of sci-fi. series.
18?
I think there's a feat that
No
lets
mind.
you use spot.
How many more do you want?
I've got
It's not a big
survival, and that's
building,
what
yeah,
I generally
it's
use.
not more
I'm pretty sure it
anymore.
uses survival.
I've got a ton of that.
You want a blobby bean?
Yes.
Just there it goes.
I've been to the
Please
beam
pass.
system.
Test fire. Test is back.
No. God, no.
I
Please,
was wondering
no.
what that reaction was going to be. You got a nat 20, obviously. No minds. Zalo, as you're probably close enough to him
So
now.
no minds.
Yeah.
Just another mind.
I know where
Well,
you went.
Right, just a simple mind.
You're no son of mine.
Right, then I'll head out for the sweep.
Cool.
Four.
You do find, now that you've managed to, because I'll give you a slight bonus for it, you've gone inside and you've seen that the things were missing, you find some areas that they're not really footprints, but they're areas where the grass is slightly flatter. Like, it's not completely flat, but it's more like, it's not as perked up as the rest, it's slightly bent down, and bigger, rounder, or more oval, I should say.
Can we use survival?
That's what I use for it.
Survival, yeah, that's probably the best thing to use.
Then there'll be 18 instead.
Yeah, so yeah, you'd still manage to determine that could be depressions from a not just an environmental suit, but one that's actually specifically got feet that are designed to not interrupt the.
Oh, that
native
distributed
flora.
weight stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Right, then I'll send that up to Logain and follow the path.
Man, he's on Omega.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. How can I help you, Tiala?
Also, how did I
Give me an antidote to the frogs so that's a game.
Noted.
500 credits?
Yeah. So you're following the. Yeah,
Yes.
make just another survival.
What
I guess,
direction
roll
is that trail going in?
to- Well, you can immediately tell it's going southeast.
I don't believe you. We're going north. Fuck your campaign.
You're giving back the blobby bean.
Well, it was a 1, so.
Yeah, that was mine as well.
Gain 18.
Yeah, it's heading southeast, and then it stops pretty close to where those big imprints were from the landing gear.
I'll radio that back.
Moving out to meet the ship.
Then I'm going to circle around the whole ship and see if there's a.
I'll make another
Those
roll
stupid
with-
bastards walked right into it.
Yeah. What do you want?
The same survival. because you
17.
notice something else. I don't know if that's good. There are. You do notice there's another set that are going around back towards the house from the other side. So somebody's come out and then somebody's walked back.
And they also are the distributed
The
wide.
big things as well, yeah.
I'll radio that back again.
It's probably a biologist thing, just not
Yeah.
interfere with samples.
Yeah, that's what the footprints are. But it's like, so they've walked out to the ship, right?
One of them's gone back.
And then they've gone back.
So
Let's
what's.
say follow the prints.
Yeah, follow the prints.
They lead back to the other house entrance.
Or do those ones also go from there
No,
to
you'd,
there?
you'd know from the start.
And
The grass would be killed the other way.
the personal
Oh,
log
yeah, good
implied
point.
that they were together at the time. So they must have both been in one of the buildings, and one of them
Okay,
has
so
gone
why
to
are
a
there no
different one.
footprints going back then? Because he's not. Where else are they going from there?
I'll carry on trying to find those same footprints.
Yeah, they lead back to the other entrance to the.
So if they
The
walk into the building. Then I'm going to look around the whole building again, all the buildings, to see if I can find any more footprints of the same kind.
We can make another roll. Better. Oh, okay, that's a lot better. Okay, you can now manage to determine, because you didn't quite get enough this with the 17 last time. You have managed to work out there are two sets going out,
Yep,
arcing around the. Well, if you're leaving the building, the left side
yep.
towards the where the landing gear prints are, and then there's another set, a single set going back to the building, and then a third set, or should I say, like another set coming back again. So that it looks like there's three leaving and then only one going back. But you've sort of managed to determine that
It's
somebody's two left and went to the landing pad.
One
One
went
has been
back.
sent back and then come
Came
back
back
again.
To grab the food.
We'll grab whatever they have to grab.
Because
Alright.
yes, those ones are slightly deeper, which means maybe
They're
they were carrying more.
Yeah.
Carrying more.
Alright, back to the ship. Once I've had a rifle through their computer.
Yeah.
I'll go put a disc on their terminals, and you might be able to find Site 3G.
Yeah, well, basically,
It's not locked, is it?
No, it's not locked. It's like it's mostly the computers are mostly here's our analysis of all these plants and everything. But you do manage to get their sector map, and it's got the sectors.
Battlenet.
Yeah.
How far away is G3?
So where's 3G and why is it southeast from here?
I think it was it came from southeast and it went north. I think.
Ship came in. Hey, you were right!
So yeah, it's
I'm
actually
always right.
north of yeah.
Because Site 3G is north.
Yeah. And yeah, it's about 15, 16 kilometers. So it's not even that far. Oh wait, no shit, it would be closer.
They
It'd be
were
5 or
walking.
6 kilometers. They were
Yeah,
walking,
They
so
were
yeah.
walking.
This
Hey,
is Trish. Cave.
Yes, low gain.
Cave network. Here.
Scanning. I've managed to pick up the cave entrance. My scanners cannot penetrate. Interference.
Is there a ship or footprints of a ship in that area?
She won't be able to detect. Well, landing pads, maybe.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
The
It
same
might be
pattern,
rocky.
the
Does
same
somebody
pattern on
want
the
to pay?
side.
Because Trish just got a 1.
Trish rolled a nat 20 earlier and therefore would have a bean. Objection! Take that!
Hey.
You know what? Fine. Even though it's like Trish doesn't normally get beans, but she did roll a nat 20. And I admire your gumption.
Also, if Tess
I am
And
never
then
getting
Trish
that away
rolls a
with.
17.
I'm never getting away with that again.
No, you got your 1.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Look,
It's all fine.
what have you done?
Confirmed. Found landing gear prints.
And these were not detected earlier because...
I was not scanning that specifically in that area. This is a big planet to analyze. But with more specific scanning, and with parameters you've given me, I have now managed to find them.
Alright, I'll let you away with it this time.
Also, it's really hard rocky surface.
You don't have to stack your objectives. I've already let you away with it.
I am just saying is all.
She's getting awfully defensive for a VI.
Well, now she's got to compete with poor little Tess, so...
Now, Tess can't compete.
What about
fired
this?
at poor Tess, and that's already happened once, and she got sent to the hospital.